Me again, the puzzle master. It is 11:11. Didn't even do that on purpose. I swear, like on my soul. It's May 15th, 2014. Get with the times, right? This is going to be titled, I think I'll call it like threatening YouTube letter. Okay? Because that's what when I read this, I found it very threatening. Um, to be completely honest, it was like months ago that I got this message. Really freaks me out reading it. I believe that I'm like with love and spirit, and so I wouldn't like give my soul away to friggin' like Katy Perry, how she said she wants to be like Amy Grant, and then she's just like, nah, I'll be a stripper and have like freaking cupcake tits, sell sex. But to my point of this video, I got a threatening letter, and I'll just read it to you. It was, your grandchildren will be first, and you won't be there to protect or defend them. We will rule the world, and there is nothing you can do about it. It's a fact. At least you seem to understand. When half the population is oblivious to their faith, 3/8 has bought our system, as you put it. 1/16 feel that these two groups both deserve it, and the final 1/16 fight us, which we can easily subdue and put into our ready-made concentration camps, and do away with our disposal of quietly and without sorrow. You can say we have done well. Indeed, our brilliant propaganda, thought up in our think tanks of learned and enlightened men beyond the reach of the commoner or goyim, has paid off handsomely. We will direct the course of affairs, for we have wisdom, foresight, and hindsight to rule without the baser emotions of passion, which are the curse of lower intellect, manifested by overwhelming number of population, which would end up killing themselves and destroying the world without our guidance anyway. It's what makes your people much closer to animals and what distinguishes us from your kind. You are a smart goyim in that at least you seem to understand this. You will always have a place as our servant, as long as you are reasonable and understand your place in our world. You are a notch above the rest. We can always use and do reward those goy who do seem to understand, such as those who serve as our agents in government, finance, lower education, and even religion at the highest levels, while giving to the masses that which we have predetermined and reserving the higher learning for our children in their preparation to continue to wisely rule over you and your kind. We control as well the more advanced sciences and science itself, again always rewarding those goy who from time to time seek to excel in their fields. Giving them a privileged position to work for us, unencumbered by the petty distractions of which your kind seems to be unenamored and are easily bedazzled by. And we give such intellectual goyim access to all of our libraries and laboratories for most of our knowledge, so they may put their minds to work for us, creating and inventing new technologies, which we will also use to control your kind, then pass on to you at the proper time, as we see fit. We nurture and maintain them much as you would a kept woman, who always ready to serve our needs and demands. We have always been in control, and will continue to be in control, while giving the vast numbers of your kind the illusion that things are changing for the better. And they are but the only, because our enlightened wisdom, and never to allow the anarchy that the inferior goyim would bring upon themselves, were we to allow it. Some of you think that because of the internet this is better known, or that we are being exposed, but what you don't seem to realize is that this has always been known by a few. And in reality, the number has actually been lowered, though you may not believe it, which is entirely fine by us. You lack the vision to see that we have agents everywhere, who are hard at work making the necessary preparations on and off the internet, so that we may come into our own, so to speak, and create the much-needed one-world government. We don't call it the New World Order, or NWO. We refer it, as we always have, Old World Nepotism, or OWN, because we own you. You are our willing or unwilling servants. And we have trained you well. For were you to try to sound the alarm, if you will, you would be paid the attention of the boy who cried wolf. No one would believe you. The overwhelming majority of our well-indoctrinated servants would deem you just another conspiracy theorist. Only a very few would know, besides ourselves, in brackets, that they would deem you insane, to even think you can challenge us. For they know the power, and have long been warned its usurpation, and will not be tolerated, from Lincoln to McFadden and JFK. All have been silenced, and we considered might be a threat. Not JFK, who was working for us, and only helped to consolidate our power by signing that rather unknown by the masses executive order, placing the power further in our hands by allowing the Secretary of the Treasury, a government position long under control, and not the President, to issue orders regarding the printing and minting of any notes, monies, or financial instruments without the need to consult him or her. For your next president will be a woman. Remember the movie Trading Places? It was just a comedy, and you possibly enjoyed it and laughed at it in the antics of the two well-paid actors. Well, we laughed too, but at the fact that we have realized this pretty much in your face and without your knowledge of consent, that was a joke. The joke was on you. You may laugh now, and you find also voraciously admire our cleverness. And, by the way, the JFK assassination was the mere infighting, jockeying for position. Look up the term if you don't know it. Johnson was the unknowing puppet used only because he hated the Kennedys so much. You can surmise as much by even watching the many videos that have been created about this. He realized he'd been used, and that was the reason for his announcement he would not seek re-election. He was another of the smart Goyim. He knew he had been played. But I don't want to overwhelm you with all of the details. We have made sure there are many theories out there to confuse the smartest of your kind, and we have succeeded. Suffice it to say that Kennedy was beginning to buy into the aura that had actually been fabricated by our own media agents, and had taken on a bit of crusader complex, which upset our agents in the military-industrial complex enough to put an end to it in the cleanest possible way. After he'd refused to listen to all reason, all we can say is that he should have known better, but it wasn't against us. He liked the United Nation and wanted a one-world government, which is ideal if we are ever going to reach our true potential and reach for the stars. So that was my threatening YouTube letter. At first I thought it was fake because, well, and it was sent by Breaking Idol. Like just the word breaking, like breaking a glass, and then the word idol, like American Idol. Breaking Idol. But I tried to find that user, and it's like they're gone now. Like they don't seem to even exist. But that was pretty long little blurb that they wrote me, eh? And I really felt that I have no fear. Like, even though I have an understanding of how this complex works. And I'm going to do a video on North Korea following this, which I typed up a ditty. None of this which I read was from me. That was just, like, I did throw in the JFK thing. That was the one time I did it. And then the text even said not JFK, because he was working for us. So, other than that one word, that was pretty much exact text. And whoa, right? So maybe even rewatch it if I said anything deep or meaningful in it that like imparted some information. Yeah, and I'm muchos gracias for the time. Love you all, and really pray to the people who are the most down, and do not judge them. For even the people, like the person that wrote this, whether it be fake or by a real person, they must live in fear of their leader. And Jesus or Emmanuel, or whatever you'd like to call him, a rose would smell as sweet. Words suffice to say, don't boil down to the truth. The truth are the actions and the principalities that underlie the actions. So if you just watch a documentary on North Korea, they're known as like the whisperers, the people of the whisper or whatever. And they aren't allowed to talk about their government because they're friggin' like totally whipped. And we seem to believe that nowadays we live in this totally free world, but it's still totally corporatism. And then underneath that layer is really a military-industrial complex. Okay? And if you look at the magazines and all of our media, it just preaches vanity and materialism, like, and lust and sex. It's all against the true word of God. And even the Bible that we have nowadays at our disposal has been retranslated by them, so lots of the meaning is lost. Like, Jesus or Emmanuel was very important, and he just disappears for 30 years in the Bible, where they just cut out his whole life history, like where he, supposedly he traveled to India and all around the world, experiencing the world religions. And there are even divisions. We need not divide to conquer. We need to love and unify, but not in like a New World Order or OWN order, because it's not with God. And like even the Bible talks about Satan coming in many forms and being able to shift. And all of the television is this crap that's just driven by money, which since 1913, the Federal Reserve Act, they've pretty much had like a grand takeover of our whole friggin' world. And it's gotta stop soon, because it's just gonna go shit hitting the fan, so to speak. But mwah, 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 love you all, and thank you for watching my little video, and I'll post more coming soon.